welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and this is the Literature Bug, and today it is sweater weather and I'm loving it, every minute of it. For those of you who don't know, fall's my favorite, and not just because I'm named after it either. It's because there's sweaters. It's just time to be basic. I can't lie, I'm that basic New England gal. I'm sipping on Dunkin' Donuts pumpkin spice as we speak. Regardless, today I have a very fun fall theme video for you guys. It is finally fall book tag. I feel like this tag couldn't come at a better time because it is finally fall. It finally feels like fall. It took forever, but we're here, we made it. And I want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I love about reading in the fall, writing in the fall, things like that. And I feel like these questions sort of give you guys a glimpse into all the goods. I'll let you in on a secret. I found my tags by Googling them. This one came up. I can't remember which blog I found it on because there were like 1,001 different examples, but I think it's really fun, something to sort of start off the October month. I do want to apologize last week for not having a video up. It was like a week from hell. Usually I don't let that get in my way, but my problem is I don't have a ring light or anything to use in my living room for lighting, and when I get home from work now, it is almost dark. And then we had a wedding to go to over the weekend, so I did not get around to filming, and I was kind of pissed off about it. So without further ado, let us just get on to the video. Alright, so I do have my little notebook here. If you guys see me glancing down, it's because there's little tidbits that go along with the questions to this, and I'm not about to memorize them. You guys don't want me to do that. Number one. In the fall, the air is crisp. Name a book with a vivid setting. Literally, it took me 2 seconds to think of which one I wanted to use for this. And the book I chose for this category is The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. Oh my god. If you guys haven't read this book, you need to. I can tell you from experience that this book is gonna be an extremely amazing fall / winter read. It's super cozy. It takes place in Alaska. And from literally the beginning to the end, cover to cover, is non-stop imagery, character descriptions, place descriptions. Like, the plot's amazing. I love this book. We actually read it for my book club, my friend Sarah and I, and we both gave it like 5 out of 5 stars, and it's still like the top of the list at this point. Like, nothing that we've read has beat it. So definitely the setting in this is amazing. It's very vivid. You won't read anything else like it. I suggest giving it a shot if you want to read something good. I mean, what more can I say about it? It's amazing. Number 2. Nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. You guys should know me by now. When it comes to picking one book for your categories, I sometimes have a hard time, and for that reason I chose 2 books for this topic. They actually ended up being 2 memoirs rather than 2, you know, YA or 2 nice collar, rather than 2 fiction novels, and that is because these, I think, deal with topics that are really iffy and touchy, but also I couldn't get enough of the narrative and just wanted to keep reading. They're ones that I've revisited like 100 times, and that is The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. This is actually a movie now, which I haven't seen, and that bumps me out. I should probably get on it. But this book has to do with a young girl whose parents, herself and her siblings, are homeless for most of her young life and her young adult life. Her parents, they don't exactly lead by example. They put sort of her and her siblings through a little bit of hell growing up, to the point where like being homeless and that kind of stuff seems sort of normal for them. So there's definitely touchy subjects in here. I haven't read this one in a while, so I won't give any specific details, and I don't want to spoil too much for you guys as well. But definitely heart-wrenching at some moments, also super touching. There are happy moments, there are sad moments. There's a mix of everything, but Jeanette Walls has an amazing way of writing, an amazing voice. So this one fits that category pretty darn good, I'd say. And second is The Liars Club by Mary Carr. I love this book. This is actually a book that I read in a creative nonfiction writing course when I was in college, my senior year, and we all as a class like completely devoured it, and we're so invested in like the narrative and just discussing all the different aspects of the book. This is about Mary Carr and her family. Her dad and her mother, who struggles with mental illness. There's a lot of drinking, which Mary Carr, in other memoirs that she's written, discusses. She actually develops her own alcohol addiction and things like that, but this takes place when she's younger. Her mom actually has like a mental breakdown. Again, I won't give away too much, but definitely touchy subjects. Another young child going through something with her parents that, you know, sort of forces her to grow up a lot faster than she should have to, but just again, beautifully written. This is actually one of my favorites out of all the memoirs that she's written. Lit is another one, Cherry is another one, and those I liked, but I didn't like them as much as this one here, so I definitely recommend that. All right, number 3 is fall is back to school season. Share a nonfiction book that taught you something new. And for this, I chose Empire of Illusion. Empire of Illusion. Who am I? Empire of Illusion, The End of Literacy and the Triumph of Spectacle by Chris Hedges. I will preface this by saying, if anybody has read this and has certain opinions about it, I'd like to keep those out of the comments. I'm not here to talk politics on my channel. I don't follow politics that much. I don't believe that it should have anything to do with what we're talking about. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. That's great. But this book, I will say, has a little bit of a political interest. It discusses a lot of topics that are like really hard to talk about sometimes. The contents, like the different chapters, we've got the illusion of literacy, the illusion of love, illusion of wisdom, happiness, and of America. So it kind of, it's a little bit windy outside. Oh shit, my spider just came off the wall. Anywho, so the politics really comes towards the bottom when we're talking about the illusion of America, but it touches upon like a lot of different subjects like pornography, technology, all that sort of stuff, and sort of breaks down the illusions that we have as people and as human beings as to like what life is meant to be about and sort of how we live our everyday life. This book blew my mind. It's one that Briar picked out. He was really into, you know, philosophy and stuff like that a couple years back. Is now obviously still, but doesn't get as much time because he's a busy bee. But this is a book that we actually read in the car together, and I will say sometimes Briar's choice in literature is a little bit more dull, a little bit more like dry, and it kind of bores me. I can say I definitely was sucked into this one, and we read it all the way through on like a trip to Maine. I've recommended this to my brother. I've recommended it to our friends when we all sit down and talk books. Like, I feel like this is something that everyone should read, whether or not you believe in what Chris is saying, whether or not your opinion is different. It's really, it's thought-provoking and it gets you thinking. I learned a lot from this book, and that was the category. So, Empire of Illusion. It's a good one. He also has a way of writing that is very accessible to everybody. I feel like sometimes, especially in those types of books, you can get to the point where you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He does a great job. Number 4. Name a fictional family / household or friend group that you'd like to be a part of. In order to keep, oh, that was what you're supposed to do. It says, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend time with some people. Name a fictional family or household friend or friend group that you'd like to be a part of. Honest with you, I saw someone else choose this family as well online on their blog, but I'm just gonna have to play copycat because I actually can't think of like a reason why you wouldn't want to be a part of this family, and that is the Weasleys from Harry Potter. I chose to show you guys Goblet of Fire because I feel like the Weasley family is very prominent in this book. A lot of stuff happens to them. We get to see more of Ron and sort of Ginny and all those characters, Fred and George as well, with the whole Triwizard Tournament going on. And I feel like we really get into more character deeds in this one as well. But the Weasley family to me just seems like that. It sort of reminds me of my own family, very close-knit, you know, didn't grow up with a whole lot, so very humble, you know, loyal. All those qualities in like a family I just feel are really important. And being great family members I feel also makes you great friends, and I think that reflects throughout all of the books. I also love how the Weasleys are very different in their own ways. They're very similar, but they've also all got their little unique things about them. I just think it would be a good time. I love to be sort of thrown into the craziness that is living in the borough. Everyone's sort of packed into this little tiny house. I'm talking family dinners, family vacations to Egypt, the whole thing. I just think it would be really neat to see what a day in the life of a Weasley is like. And I wouldn't mind living with them or going to school with them. I think it'd be great. Number 5 is the colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall colored spines. For this, I'm not going to show you guys any of them because I feel like that's what we've got going on down here. I'll sort of bring you guys lower so you can see. I've got all my reds and oranges over here on the bookshelves. Even a little bit lower, there's more orange. But I feel like it's there. You guys don't need me to pull them off. I also stuck these spider webs on there a couple days ago. And I'm not into pulling books off because I don't want to redo it. It took me long enough with our new cat Odin attacking me the entire time. So I'm going to trust that you guys can see that there's reds and oranges, and down below there's a lot of yellows, such as the yellow I'm wearing, and I consider those the prettiest of fall colors. Number 6 is fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein someone is telling a story. This one I feel could be taken a couple different ways. It could either be a narrative of someone telling their story, sort of that first person narrative, or it could be like a legitimate, you know, my grandfather came over and he told me this story, and then they could be, it sort of reminds me, like, I'll be honest, the first one I thought of was Princess Bride because the grandfather's telling a story within the story, but I instead chose one that stood out to me as like a really great narrative, especially because it flips back and forth, and it's kind of a neat circumstance. If you guys haven't already read it, it is Replica by Lauren Oliver. This book is neat because it switches between Lyra and Gemma's narrative. Two different girls going through it's the same story, it's just told in different perspectives. We read both sides, but we read them together, whereas like next time if I were to read it with somebody else, I'd have them read one side and me read the other. It's a really fun book club book, and that's where we read it, because it's different, you can read it different ways, and it makes the discussion and the conversation like super fun. It's their story, it's very much told, it's very vivid the way they tell it. It keeps you sort of in the zone the whole time, wanting to read more. What more could you ask for in a book, in a narrative? So yeah, this one is the one that I chose for today, but I could definitely probably come up with a couple of more where there's an actual story being told. Like I said, like Princess Bride, it's like a story within a story. Not today. Number 7 is The Nights Are Getting Darker. Share a dark and creepy read. Brainers, guys. Anything that has to do with Edgar Allan Poe. I'm sorry. He's creepy, it's dark. What more could you ask for? Just Poe is it. It's it. The more you read, the more you get it. You think you've hit like the creepiest, but really you've only touched the surface of the creepy. I suggest, this is an anthology, by the way. This is the Barnes & Noble Classics edition of the complete tales and stories, tales and poems, excuse me, of Edgar Allan Poe. First of all, it's creepy looking, but if I was to recommend some to you, especially for October and fall time, definitely The Telltale Heart, The Cask of, oh my god, guys, I can never pronounce this, The Cask of Amontillado, hold on, The Pit and the Pendulum, creepy, oh my god, where is it? This is some bull. Yeah, there it is. The Cask of Amontillado. We'll go with that. So that one, like I said, The Telltale Heart, The Pit and the Pendulum, The Purloined Letter is good, or The Black Cat is good. All of those are great creepy stories. They're short enough where you can get through them fast if you just want something to sort of breeze through, but also it will just, like, you'll shut the book and be like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? He's a little bit bizarre, but God bless. I love him. I can't get enough. So yeah, Poe, creepy. Matches the dark short story thing that we're looking for in this category. Number 9, it says, fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. I wish the people outside would shut it. I feel like there are books that you can read so many times that like you just sort of know what's gonna happen. You don't have to, the first time you read something, you always sort of have to be in the zone with your brain. Like your brain has to be working at like 100 miles an hour to make sure you're getting the whole story. As like The Outsiders now, I know it so well, I'm just like, oh, I know this part. And I can even breeze through it and skim it now. And consider that a reread, I guess. Because I've read those so many times, I decided against choosing that one. Instead, I chose one which I just showed you guys, I believe on my library haul, is Walk Two Moons by Sharon Creech. This book has to do with Native American lit, which I love. A professor who was like part of a Native American tribe, the Lakota tribe out west, and she just really, she hit me in the feels. Like, she made me really feel like I could connect to it, but also the authors that she showed us are just incredible. And Scott Momaday for one. What other ones? Louise Erdrich. Names are tough. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. This one is considered middle grade, but that would just make it that much easier. Like I said, shorter books where the narrative is like easy to read are great for rereads because it gives your mind a break and you can just chill and relax instead of having to be like, I'd love to just remember what the story is about. I can't even remember the characters' names at this point, so I'm not really sure, but yeah. I'll be excited when that happens. Oh my god, I skipped one. The days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm somebody's cold and rainy day. What a doink. For that one, I chose Lost and Found. This book is by Brooke Davis. It doesn't look that short, but I guarantee you it is. I breezed through this at the beach. It took me like 2 days. Such a heartwarming story about aging, getting old versus being innocent and young as a child. These characters all have sort of interesting circumstances that land them ending up together trying to figure some shit out, and it ends up very happy for everybody, which I can't say about many of the books that I've been reading lately, which is really depressing. Characters, you'll love them, you'll fall in love with them as soon as you start reading. They're very interesting, unique, and quirky, and when they're all together, it's even worse. Which makes it great, if that makes any sense. Last but not least, in this It's Finally Fall book tag, it says fall is a perfect time for cozy reading nights. Agreed, even though I can't read at night to save my life. Here's the thing though, I feel like when I read in bed, I lay down too far. Like I get in the it's time to go to bed position, like doofus, whereas I should sit up in bed. I do have a light on, which is always helpful, but for some reason I can't seem to, I don't know, it sucks. It's the only time of day that I actually have time to read, and then I always fall asleep. I get nothing done. I think I should like push to keep myself awake for at least a chapter a night. That way I'm making progress, but I don't know. Anyways, it says share your favorite cozy reading accessories. So I'm gonna give you guys sort of a quick look at what reading at night looks like for me. This is like an ideal night. This is like, I'm up for like an hour reading. I get in the zone. I've had time to decompress. These are the things I use. First of all, I always love a tea. I can't drink coffee at night because I would never sleep. And I guess you could buy decaf coffee, but I don't really care that much for the taste of it unless it has caffeine in it and it's like being drank for a purpose. So this one has been my favorite. This is the Tazo Zen Harmonious Blend of Green Tea, Lemongrass, and Spearmint. This has been my favorite tea for like over a year now. One, because it's great for my body, but two, it tastes amazing. It tastes great sweet, like with honey, but it also tastes great by itself, which is how I usually take tea. I don't put milk in it or anything. Ugh. Sorry, I don't judge you if you do like milk. You can judge me because I don't. I've never liked it, I don't know. And I always use a mug. This is my new mug. I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Had to have this. I found it at TJ Maxx, where I was visiting for like $6.99. Maybe $7.99. I don't know, it was worth it. So I always have a mug of tea next to me when I'm reading because fall equals cozy and tea equals cozy. They go hand in hand. The next thing that gets me in the reading and cozy vibe is a candle. I always keep candles around the house. You can ask Briar, I have one like in every single room, and I burn them constantly. Right now I am burning these two. This one is a little Hocus Pocus candle. This is just a bunch of Hocus Pocus, and it is Blackberry Sidles. Oh my god. I can't talk to save my freaking life today. It's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus, and it is blackberry cider scented. The second one that I'm burning is my all-time favorite, one that I keep buying whenever I see it, and that is the Patty Wax Library candles. It's like a range that they have, and this one is the Mark Twain's Library. It's tobacco flower and vanilla, and it is heaven. I can't. It's like, when you think tobacco, I think sometimes people are like, ooh, oh hell no. But like tobacco, the flowers and vanilla together are just like a godsend. These are soy candles, which means when they burn, they're extremely fragrant. This we had in the bedroom the other night, and I was like, oh yeah, baby. Library thing on the front, but love a candle. Next are a few random little things. This is a aromatherapy sleep spray mist for your pillow. And it just helps me sort of wind down. I love to feel chilled. Like I said, that's probably my problem. I like to feel chilled out when I'm reading, and then I just go to bed. But this is the sleep aromatherapy from Bath & Body Works. I've had this for quite a while now, but I think they do still sell the range if you're interested. Carmex. Dry lips freak me out. This is turning into more of like a what I do before I go to bed, which I can always do for you guys, a little routine, but I always keep Carmex near the bed when I'm reading because I'm always just brush my teeth, and after I brush my teeth I feel like my lips are the most chapped. A bottle of water, because with tea being hot I always need something cold, so I fill up ice water before I go to bed. A notebook of some sort. This, like I said, is like ideal if I'm really in the zone. What I love to do is take notes sort of as I go. I do keep page flags, and I do dog ear when there are things in the book that I really want to remember, especially if I'm writing like a criticism paper or have ideas for a book, things like that. Those are the things that I want to write down. So having a book there is perfect. And the last thing that I love to do while I'm reading is diffuse some essential oils. This is a Measurable Difference essential oil kit that I got last Christmas. It's great. It comes with all these different oils, and on the top it tells you what each one is good for. I tend to use the geranium a lot. It says this sweet scented oil is known to help combat fatigue and encouraging emotional well-being. You could also diffuse something like lavender. Sandalwood is great for memory and concentration, so I use that one too sometimes. It all depends on what mood I'm in. The diffuser I have right now doesn't work as well, and I don't think these are the greatest oils either. I usually try to get a natural blend, 100%. These ones don't tell me what the ingredients are, which makes me think they're probably like, I don't know, diluted with something, and they're not as smelly, because the old ones that I had you could put in a room and you could smell all day long. That said, guys, that is the end of the Finally Fall book tag. I hope you guys got to see some books that maybe you haven't seen before, or are wanting to check out. I definitely recommend all the ones that I talked about. I hope you guys are sort of digging the new look for Halloween time, especially because now it's October and Halloween will be here before you know it. If you guys have any comments or questions, I would love to read them down below in the comments section. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see new bookish content every single week, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I will mention right now that we have hit over 100 subscribers on this channel, and I am so thankful. You guys have been totally amazing this whole time, so supportive, so ready to talk books and everything related, and it's just such a great community, and I'm so blessed to have started this journey and decided to be a part of it. I can't wait to see where this channel will take me, take us as a community, and as a group of book friends. That's what I consider you. As always, I have tons of stuff planned for you guys, and I can't wait to get some more videos up for you. But for now, I will leave you on this wonderful fall day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!